All that matters is what you're thinking, though.
Well, yeah, what I'm thinking is
what's up in your head?
Well, what's up in my head, brother, is that I'm very proud of you.
Dadvertising. Dadvertising. Little dads doing the thing, running business while raising kids. Dadvertising.
Dadvertising, welcome back.
Good morning. I'm here, but only half of Alan is here. Where's the rest of you, Alan?
Well, I have lost a few kilos since we last spoke. I'm
Certainly
proud
have.
to say. So for those watching the video, you might be able to tell. For those who are not watching the video, you would not be able to tell that I've lost a little bit of weight. But
Sound lighter,
thank you, Alex.
both physically and sort of spiritually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How do you measure the spiritual lightness?
Well, you seem whimsical. You got a lot of energy this morning. You said, okay, so here's the conversation we had this morning. You rang me. You left me a voice message at like 6:58 a.m.,
Yeah.
which is 5:58 Queensland time. And you said, I'm full of energy this morning. I've been up since 4:30 for my walk. I was in the Gold Coast till like 8:30 last night.
Oh, no. I was at home. No. I flew back at 6 p.m.
Okay.
But I didn't get home on the Central Coast until 8:30.
Big day though.
Yeah.
Big day.
It was a huge day.
8:30 is half an hour away from bedtime, past 30. We all know that.
Yeah.
And then you stayed up doing some work for today,
Yep.
preparing for the video shoot we're doing after this.
Yep.
And then woke up at 4:30 to get your walk in,
Yeah.
which is insanely good discipline.
Yeah.
And very proud of you.
Thank you,
Talk
Alex.
us through what you've been doing, man, because it's looking great.
Yeah. So I've in the past, I have always said my health is my first priority. And after it actually has been my first priority, and the actions that I'm taking now are actually showing that it is my first priority. So, to give you some context, I do train. Like I do typically get to the gym, 2 to 3 times a week last year. But a lot of the time when I'm out filming and things like that, I would be going out. So let's say, all right, I was in the Gold Coast yesterday. Let's say if I was staying the night there, had some more film projects. Typically what I do is I look up Uber Eats. I find the best burgers, loaded fries, wings. Even what's the burger shop around here called? Two Hungry Bears.
Yeah.
Amazing, right? But it's the thing is, it's good in
Moderation.
Moderation.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. Moderation is something that I did not truly understand, or was not practicing, I should say.
Right.
So, there was a buddy of mine, Rowan Mary, down in Victoria, who he's actually an ex-client. I would call him my second dad. He's a mentor of mine. And he's probably in his late 50s. At the time, he'd lost 17 kilos.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dude, because he runs a business, he's busy. But to see him lose the weight, I was like, what have you been doing? And then he told me about this program, shared a little bit more about it, helped me to understand the system and the process. And I was like, all right, cool. So I've now joined this program. It involves a lot of walking. So like literally, as you mentioned this morning, I got up at 4:30 and did like a 7.3K walk.
Yeah, how many steps are you doing per day?
Roughly 15,000.
Wow, big.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time, man.
Yeah. So even that, like the 7,000, like 7Ks is roughly, it hits you about 10,000
Yeah.
steps, and then you've still obviously got to get the rest of the steps in. And because most of the day, unless I'm filming or walking through an airport, typically I'm sitting on my ass and not doing steps. So to actually get them in, it can be quite, you really need to force yourself. But doing those steps at the very beginning of the morning helps your metabolism. And this program that I'm on, I basically eat every 90 minutes. And so got a little lunch bag there with little snacks and protein bars and a whole range of other things as well.
I brought you a protein bar today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
I got
peanut
legend.
butter bars in my bag.
Oh.
I packed one for me and I brought one for you.
Oh,
But then
awesome.
I remembered that you're on a system. So
Yeah,
system.
look, so the system, just for context, it's basically like it is quite. There's a lot to it. So to keep it very simple, we do count carbs. But realistically, the thing that I understand is like the evidence-based training guy, Adam Sullivan.
Hilarious.
What a legend! Oh,
Yeah.
what a legend he has incredible content. Thing I understand the most, and I've worked with a few personal trainers as well, is the calorie deficit system,
that's
right?
it, yeah.
And so when I went into this, I was like, well, as long as it's calorie deficit, I understand that no matter what I do, it's going to work, and it has. So I've lost. To date, 11 kilos at the time of this recording. By the time it's published, I might have even lost a little bit more. My goal for this year is to lose 30 in total, and I'm giving myself the whole year. But I've actually surprised I've lost this much weight this quickly. But once you get into the system and once you start implementing it, it's really cool. And my wife, Jess, has jumped on it. She's lost 4 kilos at this stage as well. We've implemented some really cool habits, and I'm really beginning to understand the difference between what I'm doing now and what I was doing in 2023. And there's a whole bunch of supplements that you sort of take to support your body, fruit and veg supplements daily, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, I don't know whether it's the supplements, the food, or just a combination of everything, but I have been pushing myself and I have not gotten sick, touch wood. Just feel incredible. Like I play OzTag on Thursday, playing OzTag tonight, and I have so much energy.
Great.
So it's all natural, all good, real food. 3 liters of water a day, eat every 90 minutes in small portions. And again, the whole preface of it is to just get your metabolism up and running and humming so that your body is basically burning off fat and using its fat to fuel you and things like that as well. So
cool, man.
Yeah.
Well done. Whatever
Thank
works
you.
for you, hey? Whatever
exactly.
freaking works. And that's really impressive. I did something very similar before my wedding. I don't do it now. Now I just kind of eat and train. But before my wedding, I was doing 6-7 meals a day, massive portions with lots of vegetables, that sort of thing. And I was inexplicably ripped. But it worked.
Yeah.
But I also was a lot younger, just me and the wife, fiance at the time, obviously pre-wedding. No bigamy here. That's illegal. But
you're in good shape though.
yeah. I'm not following a program now. I'm actually in.
Look at those guns, Alex.
Well, my plan I've always struggled to put on weight. I struggle to put on muscle. It takes me ages.
I know a place that you can do it. It's called McDonald's.
This is the thing. I'm eating a lot of food right now, and I've going to, from a totally superficial place, we're going to Fiji in about 3 months.
Oh, boom.
So if I do 6 more weeks of the bulk,
Yeah.
and then 6 weeks of the cut, then that means I can do buffet breakfast and cocktails every morning.
Fuck yeah.
And still feel relatively okay.
Yeah.
My ego will be satisfied enough when I'm in the pool that I'm the best dad there.
100%.
That's all we need.
That's all you need.
To look better than that beta male cuck over there who is...
That dad bod.
Exactly.
You got a better dad bod.
I'm a dad, and this is my bod. You're a dad. You have a bod. We're all dads with bods.
But you got a better one.
Temporarily.
Okay.
At this point in time.
Yeah.
And that's subjective. Although, come on now.
Hey.
Look at me.
All that matters is what you're thinking, though.
Well, yeah. What I'm thinking is
what's
that,
up in your head?
Well, what's up in my head, brother, is that I'm very proud of you, and it leads us into the topic that got us onto this in the first place, which was you were saying that this whole journey of aiming for 30 kegs gone, it's a process of delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification.
Although you have lost 11 kilos fast, that will get slower because you've lost
It's
that top of the funnel weight loss.
Well,
that's the easy part.
Yeah, like the first week I lost 4.5.
Yeah.
And it's because part of this program you actually carb up, like you purposely eat shit. I don't know that they said to eat shit, but I definitely did eat shit leading into it, and then you basically cut back. So
That's
there's
something with water, right? Like,
well, it's like you have lots of water. Like the beginning of the program is you have protein only days. So there's 3 days of just eating, it might be 100 grams of chicken or 100 grams of corned beef or 100 grams or whatever every 90 minutes for 3 days.
Yeah.
And then every Monday is like that. But then slowly it works in 6-week cycles. You add food in for the rest of the days. And then even in week 5, which I'm in right now, and week 6, you begin to add more food, because when you go into the next cycle, you're going to cut back again. So it's just constantly, there's a whole system. There's a whole bunch of science. I'm not completely across it. I'm getting the results, which I'm happy about.
Yeah.
So it's like a mechanic. You don't need to necessarily know how a car works. You just need to take care of it.
Yeah.
And
me being
feed
a man,
it good fuel. And then
what a metaphor.
exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
Well done, man.
So delayed gratification.
Speaking of delayed gratification, welcome to minute 10 of the podcast where we're finally getting into the topic.
Yeah.
I've experienced a bit of delayed gratification today, Alan. Because
Tell me, Alex. I know where this is going, but tell me more.
I arrived at the podcast studio at 8 o'clock this morning.
Yes.
And you arrived at 9 o'clock this morning.
Naughty, Alan. Naughty.
You're all good. Very hard to park around here.
Yeah.
Very hard to park. We got there in the end, and I'm excited for the topic because delayed gratification in my life is all business-based mostly. You're experiencing in a health-based frame at the moment because you got this big health goal. We all have the business goals where we maybe at the beginning we thought things were going to happen faster than they do, and then also probably in the family sense as well, you're always with a kid kind of hoping it's going to get easier at some point.
Yeah.
But also then you got to stop yourself from wishing away the time you're in now.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. This was your idea for a topic.
Yeah.
And I'd love to know, you said that your theme for the year is delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Which sounds very mature and
Very grown up.
It is very grown up. Yeah. It's not kind of my theme for the year is do X
Fuck
every
bitches.
day. Jesus. No.
No.
Get money. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
None of that. So look, I think anyone who's ever been on a health journey, even if it's been for a couple of weeks, right? You immediately notice the difference when you take care of your health. You immediately know the difference and can see the difference across your life. And and you're absolutely right. Like, because I think you see it, you hear it, and you watching it, you scroll enough on Instagram, you hear and see, all the different people, David Goggins and everyone else telling you to look after your health and blah, 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 and do whatever. But you really just need to obviously find the best way that works for you. And for me, it was actually as much as I tried to do things, I was getting Jess on board. And then, like you said, the delayed gratification idea. This then I then started to notice some decisions that I'm now making better in my finances, right? So, for example, now, instead of coming to a Friday or a Saturday night, and I don't know if I should admit this, but now that I've started talking about it, I'm going to, on a typical Friday night, it is like a burger, some loaded fries that would share with Jess, some chicken wings that would share, and then I used to smash one of those Ben & Jerry's caramel ice cream tubs.
The whole thing?
Yes. One of the
little ones.
Not the tiny one, the middle one, the one that you get at the servo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
The loaded fries and the ice cream don't need to be there.
Yeah, no, exactly right.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean is I could do that on a Friday or a Saturday night or even both.
Yeah.
And it's too much, obviously. See your judgmental eyes. But that's the thing. That's the thing is I like here's the whole dilemma and why I was doing it in the first place is because especially when I'm filming, and I don't mind admitting this, I am a very sensitive person, right? In order for me to really serve someone, I have to actively listen. And when I'm actively listening, I'm opening my energy up and really like being a part of that, I don't want to say being a part of that person, but I'm really allowing them to like share, express, and like amplify them back and mirror things back that they need or can do better based on their objectives and all those other things. And that's why I feel like I'm great at what I do. However, it's a massive energetic exchange. And so I'll be on a trip to the Gold Coast. We'll be doing a podcast. Yep. And I'll be driving home and I am fucking flat. I'm coming down. And the way that I have dealt with this is typically like go and feed myself. And so, talking about coming back to delayed gratification, instead of feeding myself and almost numbing myself with food, enjoying a salad, some lettuce, some tomato and cucumber with some chicken or whatever, some sort of salad, and enjoying it with some water. And like, especially like I will admit, like I definitely feel like a junkie having withdrawals from pizzas and burgers and all those other things. But knowing that, this feeling, I'm breaking like huge habits here and those habits are going to now set me up to be better. And we've already started to notice it at home. Like even the way that I work and operate, I can already see my daughter without changing anything, like not telling her or anything. She's already started to change her eating habits, and so is my son.
So good.
That's probably the most rewarding part.
They're always
all
watching.
of it.
They're always watching, aren't they? Even
Yeah.
if you're not telling them to do things.
Exactly.
And when they do something that is not a great habit that you have,
Yeah.
and you see it, you're like, oh shit, that's my fault completely.
Like even on a Sunday morning, like at home, sometimes I drive to go and get hotcakes from Macca's or something like that, or even a bacon and egg roll or, whatever. And so while I'm there getting a bacon and egg roll, I'll get like, whether it's a Danish or like some sort of pastry for my daughter. And we obviously, it's just little habits like that because I'm not actively going out getting that bacon and egg roll. She's not eating that. And everyone's okay. Like, and so I think the delayed gratification is knowing that I'm making these choices now, but I'm seeing the reward in the next couple of weeks when I get to look in the mirror and or look at the scales and see where I'm at and all those other things. And then coming back again, I've now started to realize, like, so recently I actually had a Ford Ranger on order.
I was excited for the Ford Ranger.
Yeah, so was I.
Yeah.
So it landed and we probably could have made it work. But we chose, it was going to, like, I can definitely afford it. I can definitely put it on finance. I can do all this stuff. But I was like, you know what? We've got a trip booked to Disneyland in April.
Yeah.
We've got a few things on. Whilst I can make it work, I don't want to stretch ourselves. Like, I don't want to add pressure that's unnecessary because we're in a really pivotal point in our business where we're making some huge changes and, taking on a little bit more cost right now for what's about to come.
Yeah.
And knowing that, I'm going to have to pass up this Ranger, which sucks because I loved, like, literally I was with a client, the guy I was with in the Gold Coast yesterday has the Ranger that I wanted. And I was like, you know what? But it was also good to jump in. He actually dropped me back at the airport. But after I hopped out, I was like, you know what? I'm so happy that I haven't made this decision because in the next 6-9 months, maybe I will get a Ranger. Maybe I'll get like a RAV4. Maybe I'll get something else, And it's the delayed gratification of I'm getting myself right in my finances because that's going to make a huge difference. And so whilst I was talking about this and sending the voice note, you were telling me a few other things about your experiences with delayed gratification as well.
Sure. Can't remember them right now. But
You were talking, no, but even you started off with talking about family and
yeah, 100%. I was just thinking just then though. Imagine if you got that Ford Ranger, you would have never found a park this morning.
oh no, never.
It took 40 minutes in your tiny little Wombat car.
Yeah,
that
my
you
Corolla.
drive. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is the world's
Wombat.
smallest car.
And it's got paint like it's got paint peeling off the front.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, it would have taken forever.
we wouldn't be here. We still wouldn't be recording.
No,
Those
I would
things
have-
Are enormous.
I would have had to park at Brookvale Oval, of
Basically.
all places.
Yeah,
Yeah.
home of the brave. Yeah.
They-
Okay.
Manly are looking good this year, by the way.
Well, they are. They won.
Did you
their
see their
first-
trial match?
Yeah. Well, you
See
couldn't
Luke
stream
Brooks?
it. You couldn't stream it, but you
Yeah.
could watch the highlights. 68-6. What a win! Very
Lucky it
good.
was a trial match.
Lucky. Yeah. So, I mean, the thing that you're mentioning, and I think we don't come into these conversations as like trying to give people a lesson. You know, it's just experiences that we're having with ourselves, right? And for me, probably the delayed gratification thing, the patience thing comes in business. Business, I know by now, doesn't happen very quickly at all.
No.
Right? And the big lie is that it can, and it probably can, but it must be so rare for a business to just pop. It's going to be one of those right place, right time situations for the most part,
Yeah.
I'd imagine. And everyone compares, everyone mentions the big three tech billionaires, that sort of thing. But I mean, even Facebook is like the newest of all these tech companies when you compare it to Apple and, Elon's been in business for longer than that. But Facebook turned 20 this week.
Yeah.
It's 20 freaking years. So they blew up quickly, but 20 years.
They blew up quickly, but they weren't an overnight success either.
No.
Like, even if you are taking all of your information off, the Social Network, the movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, which we all are.
Yeah. Well, I definitely haven't researched this topic. However, effectively, he talks about how he sold, games and he took down the network and things like that. And then even, the time that they were initially just targeting Harvard, and then they decided to extend to other universities, and then they decided to extend to the US and then the world, right? That didn't just happen overnight. And Elon Musk, he created PayPal, right?
Yeah.
He didn't get to Tesla and SpaceX and all the cool, even the boring, the flamethrowers. Do you remember the boring company? How fucking sick is that?
He's a
He's a legend. Anyway, he didn't buy Twitter, overnight.
No.
It all happened over a course of a period of time. And there's a really good book actually. I've given you. Is it Good to Great?
I found it.
Yes.
I said you haven't given it to me, but you have given it to me, and I found it.
Yeah, Good to Great.
Yep.
And that it shows it's a really good book, and it sort of reiterates this point of delayed gratification, and the thing with business is that it's not necessarily going to be the one thing. It may be the one thing over a course of a period of time, but typically, and I know this from my own personal experience, is that I feel like I am so confident that I found that one thing in the last, I'm going to say in the last 2 months, on top of what the systems and the foundation that we've already built. And I am so excited to see where I'm in 12 months' time or even 3 years' time.
Great.
Off the back of what's happening right now and the cool shit that we have in the background.
Cool, man.
So,
yeah. It's compounding. It's compounding
effect.
It's compounding effect of lots of little things. And so, the best representation in my life is that we started, one of those apps that kind of take your spare change and invest it for you?
No.
There's one called Raiz, R-A-I-Z.
Yeah.
It started off being called like Little Acorns or something, sound like a preschool center. And basically the idea was that it rounds up. So say you spend $1.95 it takes 5 cents and invests it into like a, exchange traded fund, that sort of thing. Kind of like invest like superannuation. And then, so every day you're spending a little bit, every one of your transactions invests a little bit of money. And then you can start adding more and more into there. And we've slowly gone up to the point where, every week or every day, a certain amount of money goes into that account. And it's all small. And it's, every week paychecks come in and then we have automatic transfers to take the money out into different buckets. And it's not huge amounts. But
it compounds.
It compounds. And now the thing I'm saying, still, there's not heaps of money in there. But you see a little tick and it's like, oh, that's a dividend that was $150 that got paid out to you. And the dividends we used to get used to be like $2.70. And I'd be like, sweet, I didn't work for that. Now it's like $150 just for free there because it's compounding. And so the habits in your health are compounding over time. The habits, because, people try and add too many things in at once when they first start a diet. Most don't have the energy and discipline that you have. So if you say 15,000 steps, cut this out, do this, most people don't do it. The best way is doing one at a time, probably, and then compounding them. In business, like you said, you start off with a video camera, making social media content.
I started off with a mobile phone.
Started off with a mobile phone.
Yeah. I literally was filming a football team, like a local rugby league team with my iPhone.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, social media content.
Yeah.
Start with that. Then you add in an additional service. And then you add in a staff member. Then you upgrade the equipment. Then you upgrade the system. And it all compounds to the point where you look back and suddenly we've both got teams. We've both got massive amounts of systems and resources for everything. Anytime you need to tell someone how to, set up their TikTok ads manager account, you've got a sort of an SOP for that you can send them, and it's all compounding. If we tried to do that at the beginning, to have it all done, instant gratification, completely overwhelming, we wouldn't have even got there. And so I think one way of looking at the instant versus delayed gratification thing is, one, having everything now sounds great, and in itself, like salt, sugar, fat, carbs, that's very, very good. That's very, very tasty, instant gratification. But the fact is that you can't probably handle massive positive change all at once because it's going to be too much, too overwhelming, and it'll get on top of you, and you'll probably quit. So the short, small, what's the word? Intersegmental. There's a word for it, but compounding steps.
Yeah.
Over time gets you to an incredibly good place, like that hockey stick angle you see.
The bell curve, all that stuff. And it's got to, I think taking the small steps daily is actually the only way to do it, rather than trying to do a big leap. I couldn't agree more. And the other thing is, especially when you scroll on Instagram, and this is the thing, right, is this delayed gratification really plays out when on our conversation this morning when we were speaking to each other, I was like, if you really, really wanted to, there is a good chance that, like, if I just went on this narrow focus, I want to buy a Lamborghini as soon as possible notion, I could sell my house. Don't know how my wife would feel about it, but sell my house, pull out the equity, go and get a loan and buy a Lamborghini somewhat, in the very near future. If I really fucking wanted it, right?
I think Jess would be happy.
I think she would love it.
Chicks love fast cars, and it's also practical as a family vehicle.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know why she would have any objections at all. So, yeah, but but that's the extreme version. But another version is coming back to food, I'm sure you see it as well. Like, you see people making these burgers and doing eating challenges and blah, blah, blah. And And then, but also you see people going on trips or going on, whether it's business class trips or they're, they're just doing certain things, and you can get that, you can sort of lose sight of what you have right now. And that's the most important thing, is just being present with where you are right now and what you have right now. Because if you are happy and you're grateful for what you do have right now, with a glass half full perspective on what you can do and achieve and where things will be in the next 12 months, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, because of the decisions you're making today, I don't think you can go wrong with that mindset.
There's that Tony Robbins quote. As much as I don't agree with everything he says, one is people...
Don't lie, you love him.
I don't love everything he says. And we've talked about that before.
Sure.
But I think he's great.
I believe you.
I think he's changed the world. He's changed the personal development world completely.
Sorry, you're about to quote something.
I can remember what it is, don't worry. Relax. My memory is a little... lasts more than one thought.
Okay.
So Tony Robbins was saying... people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, underestimate what they can do in 10 years, which is dope. And I love that. And often, to add to that, Tony, because I think you haven't covered the whole topic, you noob. Bring back the word noob. Often in trying to get to things in 1 year, you probably deny yourself those things in 10 years. Because too hard, too fast, you'll fuck something up and quit. And if you just went slowly, like you said, try and stay happy with where you're at right now, which isn't always easy, often very, very difficult to do, then you can get there and do way, way more, rather than if you did crash diet, 1,200 calories a day, cut out everything, you'd lose weight fast, you'd give up fast, because everyone does. But if you go, where can I be in 12 months? You get there. So you're much better losing 30 kilos over 12 months or getting to $1 million business over 10 years, rather than trying to do everything all at once.
Yeah.
And ultimately burning out and failing.
Yeah, absolutely. And our friend Gary Vee often talks about patience.
Totally.
And it really is just being patient with, whether it's growth, whether it's eating right, whether it's your finances, your relationships, whatever, and just understanding that the best thing that you can focus on is your habits. Focusing on the incremental habits that will compound over a course of a period of time will have you make better decisions. And you may get to a point where you realize, I don't actually want that anymore, because I can see how much my ego was attached to it, or like, it sounds great.
Yeah.
Having a Lamborghini as the family car sounds like a great idea until it's not.
Until you can't fit more than...
Can't even fit a surfboard in there.
You can't fit... does it even have back seats?
No. Can you even... You might be able to put roof racks on it.
I think the boot is in the back of a Lamborghini. In the
front,
the
engine is in...
Engine's in the back,
in the
boot's
back,
in the front.
Correct. Yeah, there
you go. That'd be funny, rocking to daycare.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you ever have a double pram?
No.
We had a double pram.
Oh, yeah.
And it is a monster. Folded up, it's the size of this table.
Yeah.
And it's like, the reason we have a big fancy car is just to get all the shit in the car.
Yeah.
And so that my own delayed gratification was basically, I got instant gratification of, let's put some shit in the car. Let's get a big car. 100%. Anyhow, I think we got this topic wrapped up, Alan.
We've got it wrapped. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you've enjoyed the podcast, make sure you give it a good rating.
Please. Only good.
We need? Yeah.
We can't deal with any more bad.
No. Well, have we got any bad?
No, but that's what I mean. I can't deal with a single bit of bad.
Okay. Please don't make Alex feel bad. Just give us good ratings, please.
I'm extraordinarily emotionally attached to
to the ratings.
how much the ratings on this podcast.
Yeah.
Although we are getting incremental, slow growth every episode,
Correct.
which is nice.
It's really nice.
It's nice to see. I think we're in the double digits of YouTube subscribers,
Yeah.
which is good.
No, we've got eight subscribers. Who will be our ninth?
Eight.
Who will be our ninth? It's probably me, you, my wife, your wife.
And our business accounts. Yeah.
Yes.
I need to get YouTube accounts for my kids.
8 million. No.
8 mil.
No.
One day. Probably not. Who knows?
Who knows? Incremental growth.
You're a part of it, ladies and gentlemen.
You're a part of it.
See you next week on Dadvertising. Much love. Peace out.